Hello guys, in this video we are going to have a subject verb agreement which you will see in so many English competitive exams. So, which of the following sentence is grammatically correct for use in an official report? Read each option carefully. So, in the option A, we have a team of dedicated engineers are reviewing the final blueprints. Option B, a team of dedicated engineers is reviewing the final blueprints. Option C, the team are divided in their opinions regarding the new safety protocol. And option D, the team is unanimous in its decision to approve the design. So you have to tell me which of these option is correct. So I give you 3 seconds. One, two, three. The correct answer is the option B. The team of dedicated engineers is reviewing the final blueprints. The option B is only sentence that correctly applies the rules of subject verb agreement for collective noun in standard American English. The singular verb is properly matches the singular subject team, not the plural noun engineers. That's it right next to it. To understand this, a collective noun and the prepositional phrase trap. What is the collective noun? The collective noun names a group. Words like team, committee, family, staff, and audience. Even though the group contains multiple people, the noun itself is grammatically singular. This is a key point. The noun itself is grammatically singular. So when the group act as one unit. So here the trap is test makers place a plural noun inside the prepositional phrase right before the verb to distract you. Your ear hears engineers and want to use are, but the engineers is not the subject. The true subject is team. So here, if we break down the option B, here a team is a subject and engineer is a distraction here. So distractor is of engineer and verb is reviewing. So the closest noun mistake is the option A does. In the option A, use the plural verb are because it incorrectly matches the verb to the nearest noun engineers rather than the actual subject team. This is one of the most common error on standardized grammar test. So if you see the option A, the team of dedicated engineers are. So here we talk about this. So there we use the plural verb are. That's why that option is wrong. The rule violated. Verbs must agree the head noun of the subject phrase, not with any noun that happens appear nearby. So there are team of dedicated engineer. This one is a nearby, which is a trap. So proximity does not determine the agreement, grammatically function does. So the quick fix is cross out the prepositional phrases when identify your subject. A team of dedicated engineers. So here the subject is team. So a team is much cleaner way to understand this. When a collective nouns take a plural verb, collective nouns are not always strictly singular. The verb form depends on how the group is behaving in the sentence. So for example, here the group act as one. When the group perform a single unified action, treat it as singular. Example, the team is reviewing the blueprints. Here the subject is the team, so which is a singular. So the team is reviewing the blueprints, one shared action. So members are members acts individually. When members of the group act separately or hold different opinions, use a plural verb. For example, A team are divided in their opinions. Here the team is divided because here a individual person hold their different opinions. So here we will use are. The team are divided in their opinion. Here individual stances. Why option C and D don't win this round? Option C is grammatically valid, but the team are divided. If you see the option C first, the team are divided. Here divided is create the individual stands, so are. The team are divided in their opinions regarding the new safety protocol. The team are divided in their opinions is actually acceptable in British English when emphasizes the individual members. However, this question asks for the best choice for official report in the standard American English, where singular agreement is preferred for a collective noun acting together. So that's why we we are not choosing this option C, although it is correct by the British English. The option D, a trick near miss. The team is unanimous in its decision, uses correct singular agreement, but the question specifically asks you to evaluate the sentence about engineer reviewing blueprints, making option B is the correct answer to the prompt as written. So, to understand this, you have to understand the option D. The team is un- unanimous in its decision to approve the design. So, first is we have to understand the context. Context. We have context. The sentence is grammatically for an official report. Although option C is correct, but in the official report, mostly we don't use are. British are. We use American is, which is singular. That's why this we are removing this. And option A we remove because it contains the R, which is a trap. So now we option D. Here the team is unanimous in its decision to approve the design. So if you read this, use the correct singer, but the question specifically asks you to evaluate the sentence about engineer reviewing blueprints. So that's why option B is more direct than the option D. That's why we use the option B. Although option D is also correct, but we have to go with the best options we have. That is option B, which is direct. The three rules to remember this thing: find the true subject, strip away the prepositional phrase before choose your verb. The noun closest to the verb is often a red herring. Always identify the head noun of the subject phrase. So here they are mentioning don't focus the engineer, go with the collective noun, which is the team. Collective nouns are usually singular. Words like team, committee, staff, family take singular verbs when the group acts as a single unit. This is the default in American English. Context the first identify the subject. Here you identify the subject like team, committee, staff, then use the word is as per the American English. The third one is the context. Context determines singular versus plural. If the group members are acting individually, like they have a disagreement, in that case we can use the are. A plural verb may be appropriate. Look for the clues in the predicate. So based on the context, whether uh, the context focus on individual or on the collective nouns, so we have to choose is or are option. Subject verb agreement with the collective noun is one of the most tested grammar concept. So this kind of question you will find most of the exams. So you always have to, the key is always identify the real subject, ignore the distractions, and match your verb accordingly. Thanks for watching. I hope I add something in your knowledge.